Hi, everyone. I'm Ronica Deshmukh, and I'm here with
Rushi, Kota.
and welcome to the fourth episode of Shattering Stereotypes. So again, thank you so much for meeting with me today and letting me ask some questions about yourself. It's very cool. This is very surreal. So yeah, my first question is, can you tell me a little bit about your journey into the entertainment industry and how you got started?
Yeah, for sure. I think for me, it started right after college. I was dabbling in like school theater, and I was doing a bit of modeling. And then after graduating college, then I realized, well, during college, I realized I didn't really want to be doing the thing that I was studying for. So that kind of prompted the shift into realizing what it is that I wanted to do, and acting was something that I really wanted to explore. So, with the tidbits of information that I've gathered from people around me, I realized how to start applying for jobs or how to get auditions and whatnot. And I went through like Backstage and Actors Access, got some headshots and practiced some monologues. And that's what I was doing in New York when I first. And then, I was getting a little bit of success, but I realized I didn't really know how to be an actor. I didn't know what to do once I got the job. And that prompted me then to be like, all right, do I want to do this for real? And I then started training for auditioning for grad school. And so specifically for a master's in fine arts and acting, because I knew that I wanted to study this for real. And so I applied to 5 programs. I got into one, and I studied for about 2.5 years in acting. And right after, I was like, all right, I want to go to LA. So I was going to take a month off after grad school, but an opportunity presented itself, and I booked a play out in Sacramento. So I got everything that I could in my car, and then I started, the journey across the country to get to California. So that's how it started.
Wow, that's a long drive, New York to
Sure.
California.
5 days.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, too long for me. But that's really awesome. Kind of seeing the progression. Also, I'm curious, what did you major in college?
In college, I majored in industrial management, technology, and automotive engineering.
Okay.
Yeah, like boring stuff. Just boring.
That's what my dad keeps on trying to push me to. He's like, you should do technology. You should do technology. I'm like, yeah, I think we all know that's not me. Very cool. And my next question is, how do you feel that your South Asian background has kind of influenced your roles and your material? Obviously, never have I ever.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the things I've done so far, yeah, I mean, I think it definitely helps me stand out. But at the end of the day, acting is acting, and it all comes down to, there's so many other things that are out of any actor's control, but it all still comes down to acting. Like, are we able to, get into character and deliver something that is very unique and specific to me? And, and that's the thing that hopefully helps me stand out. But I think in the beginning, when I started probably like 12 years ago, it was a lot of, stereotypical roles that were we all South Asians were getting pigeonholed into. But I did see a big shift happened probably like 8 years ago, and there was a big shift happening of like, okay, we no longer have to play the terrorist, the IT guy, mainly a lot of IT guys. My God,
Yeah.
In every show there's the IT nerd who is of some Asian descent. It slowly started shifting, and that's something that I never fit into, and so it became hard for me to book those jobs because I just didn't fit into that.
Yeah.
But I guess I've been lucky or different enough that where I don't specifically book those kind of roles. There is someone who fits that, and kudos to them, and they go out there and get it, and they do a great job. But I've been lucky enough to like really play outside of my skin color.
Yeah. I think it's so important because it's also like I know my mom moved here when she was 9, and she was kind of explaining to me how when she was younger, like now the stereotypical thing for Indians is like, oh, IT or doctors, but then it was like a lot of cab drivers. And I was watching How I Met Your Mother yesterday, and I was like, what does the first scene have? It's a Pakistani or Bangladeshi cab driver. And it's like, it's interesting to see how the narrative has kind of shifted and changed over time.
Yeah, I mean, speaking about How I Met Your Mother, I mean, if you look at How I Met Your Father, there's an Indian guy on there. So the narrative has shifted quite a bit. And even now, if you see what's really hot on TV right now is Daily Boys. That show has been, really fantastic in terms of breaking the stereotypes, but because you got these smart, well, not so smart, but one of them smart anyway, book smart, these brothers who have been privileged their whole lives, and then all of a sudden their father gets killed or dies, and now they are thrust into this dark world of contraband, and how unequipped they are to handle that. And I think that's like, a really fantastic story that is making a lot of headlines right now, which is great.
For sure, yeah. And then, how was it telling your parents that you kind of wanted to pursue a career in acting?
Well, I didn't have to tell my parents because my mom was the one that pushed me to be an actor. Yeah, so I was grateful for that. I mean, she just wants the best for me, and she was always coming up with these ideas of like, oh, maybe you could do this, maybe you could do this, maybe you could do this, and then you're like, oh, you're really good at this, so why don't you try this for a little bit? And I remember when I first got accepted to my grad program, I didn't want to go because I didn't know I was going to be able to afford it. And she was the one like, you're going, you're going to go, and we're going to figure it out. And I was like, okay. So I would say, my mom was the one that just really embraced it and pushed me into it.
That's super awesome. I love that. Yeah, I know a lot of times with, I don't know, the Asian actors wanting to pursue that, sometimes there is a bit of a pushback from parents, and it's not
totally.
like,
yeah. I mean, I would see that. I mean, like, as a parent now, I think it was a lot more stricter like 5-10 years ago compared to now, because there weren't so many of us in the mainstream, so it didn't look like a path of success. But yeah, now I feel like, people are a little bit more lenient and accepting of things.
Yeah.
And I mean, as a parent now, I don't think I would push my son to be an actor because I know how hard it is. But, if he all of a sudden's like, Dad, I want to be an actor, I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of like leads into the next question. So, which shows like Never Have I Ever and Indian Matchmaking capturing mainstream attention? How do you see the representation of South Asians in the media evolving, and what role do you feel you play in that process?
Yeah, it's evolving a lot. I mean, even in the political landscape, there's a lot of Indians. There's so many Indian or South Asian CEOs.
Yeah.
Of major companies, of even Tubi. I just saw something that there's an amazing Indian woman that is now the head of Tubi. So we're everywhere. And I think, with people like Mindy Kaling and Lily Singh and Hasan Minhaj and so many more behind the scenes of writers, directors, producers, the landscape is equalizing. For sure. We are getting a lot more representation than we did before.
Yeah, I definitely see that with like older shows and shows that I watched growing up to now. It's a lot more representation, and it's really great to see some of like my experiences and like our experience being reflected in the media, because that just was not a thing before,
Oh, it totally wasn't. Yeah, I mean, it's been I think it's been a big movement. It's taken a while, but now we are getting to explore so many more stories outside of the typical, like, arranged marriage story, which is so over and done with. And so that's pretty exciting.
Yeah. And can you share a super funny or memorable moment from your career?
Super funny or memorable moment. Well, the first thing that pops into my head was I was shooting this movie, Dumb Money. And it had a lot of big people in it. I was playing Beju Butt, who was the co-CEO of Robinhood, and the other CEO was played by Sebastian Stan, which was a really cool, amazing experience because we got to wear wigs and wear all these outfits, play like real living people, and I think like there was one scene where we had to drive Teslas in unison because we were like kind of like Tesla bros. And I think one of the takes, the director Craig, he was trying to get a certain specific shot, and we were doing it over and over again. And I think I was just like getting in my head of like what exactly he was looking for. And I remember one moment where I left the car in reverse. so, and as soon as Sebastian Stan, he took off, I was about to slam on the reverse. Like I stepped on it a little bit, and it lurched backward before I was just like, oh my God. So I was like, my heart was like in my hands. I was like, oh my God, kill this car and kill everything. So so that was a scary, funny moment that I was like, I can laugh about it later.
Yeah. And for the moment, it was very scary, but that is a funny moment. And are there any misconceptions or stereotypes about South Asian actors or actresses that you would like to debunk?
Yeah, I think mainly, I think like arranged marriage is one of them. I think that's like the most recurring theme that I've seen over and over again, which I'm so over. Or even the obsessive mother that is constantly like setting their children up on dates and is like hyper controlling. I think that's a stereotype I would like to totally debunk, and I don't think every single Indian mom is like that. I know my mom certainly is not like that. So yeah, I think I think like now with the evolving landscape, there's so many other types of people that are coming out, which is great. We're stepping away from those stereotypes. Yeah.
I love it. And what do you feel is the most rewarding part of what you do?
I think the most rewarding part is honestly just like being on set and creating and living the life. I think once past rehearsal and once we actually do the thing and there's like 4 cameras there that captured, and then something real pops out, and you get into that zone, that tunnel vision of living the life, and you come out of it and you're like, oh, what just happened? Everyone, it's like you caught the moment. I think that's the most rewarding thing, of great, I've done all the work, now I can let go and just experience whatever happens, and just be. And I'm like, all right, great, I feel like I'm fully in this character, I feel like I'm fully in the scene, I feel like I'm like actually listening to you and reacting and not thinking about what my action is or like what or what I'm about to have for lunch or like any of those things. I'm like I'm like processing real thoughts of the life I'm in, and we get it, and I'm like, oh yeah, that feels like I've done my job and I feel accomplished.
Yeah, I love it. Super special and like it's a real moment.
Yeah.
And who are your influences within and outside of the South Asian community?
Influences. Yeah, I would say Minnie Kaling. She's great. I mean, she's doing a lot of amazing things for South Asians and the community, and also outside of that as well. And like I love Riz Ahmed's acting. Krish, he's on Ghosts, and he's also just crushing it. He's in everything. He's an Avatar. I know it's a little controversial, but I love Jonathan Majors. I think he has like some of the most amazing skill as an actor, and that's I think his ability to maneuver and navigate a particular character is just very admirable. I love Ryan Reynolds. He's really funny. Let's see who else. Did I say Riz Ahmed? Yeah, I like Riz Ahmed. I just started watching this show last night called Adolescence, and it's a British show. I don't know if you heard of it. I think it just came out, but man, the acting in that and the camera work, like you got to go watch it. It's only like 4 episodes. I mean, how old are you now?
I'm 17.
Okay. I mean, it speaks to like, I think you can relate to it very much of like what high school is and what that world is like. I think it is some of the most like beautiful camera work and acting that I've seen in a while. So yeah,
Well, for
like, you
sure,
know,
have to go watch it. Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
love it. Super interesting. And do you
yeah.
have?
Oh,
Yeah,
go ahead.
no, you're good.
No, I was gonna say, I'm not gonna ruin it for you, but there's one episode, and I think it's like the third episode. It's only two people talking in a room, and it's like the most riveting thing the entire time. And I was like,
You know
yo,
what?
yeah,
Definitely an attention capture.
yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
Yeah. And what advice do you have for aspiring South Asian actors and actresses who want to break into the industry?
I would say study.
Mm.
You know, I think going back to what your parents have constantly harp on, study, 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 study. Yeah, it's like, I don't know, it's just people, get into the acting industry kind of unsure about a lot of things. And I'm like, would you go all of a sudden perform surgery without knowing what you're doing? Or like, would you do work on a car without knowing how to take it apart and put it back together? Would you do like somebody's taxes without knowing where to put the numbers and like, how to crunch the numbers? I think for acting it's the same thing. I think studying is important. You got to know your playwrights. You got to know, how to do things safely. You got to know how to do things for 14 hours a day, doing the same thing for 14 hours a day and still finding every single moment the truth of it. And then like how to do big emotional scenes and then because you're putting your body through trauma.
Yeah.
I think you got to know how to do it safely and come out of it. Um, so yeah, I think finding a good program and studying and getting your feet wet, trying all the little things, doing all the little things, and then working your way up. Yeah, for sure. People, get the golden ticket and they're like, okay, this is my first job ever, and now I'm on the world stage. But then they get their next job and they're like, oh crap, what do I do? How do
Yeah.
I different than what I just did? Because people just saw you do the thing, and then like, what, am I going to keep bringing the same exact character that I did for that to this? So there's just so many different tools to utilize oneself with. I think it's important to educate and learn yourself and get the experience, and then understand like what the life of an actor is.
Yeah.
How much money you're not going to make.
Mm.
It's not all like social media, like how it portrays of like, oh my god, I'm like wearing this cool dress and then I get to go to this event, like, or I'm get to be in this magazine. All that stuff costs money.
Yeah.
Like people, and even to sustain this life as an actor it costs a lot of money that you don't make acting.
For sure.
So yeah, I think that would be the biggest advice of like, first and foremost, study. It's like,
Yeah.
realize like, hey, is this what you want to do? Is this what, brings you passion and joy? Not the social media world, but like, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely, just because it's not like something so technical or STEM doesn't mean you don't have to study. It's very much a practice
Yeah.
form.
Yeah. And it's like, I think as an actor, you're going to be not working as you like, it's not going to be as busy as one thinks.
Mm.
And what is the discipline in the downtime?
Mm.
The older you get, how do you keep your muscle constantly flexed? It's like, if you don't keep your muscle flexed, would you just, go to the Olympics and run a marathon or like do a,
Yeah.
whatever? It's a constant training. Even after I've gotten my MFA and whatnot, I'm still in class. I'm still doing the thing. It's a constant learning process. So it just never ends.
Yeah, always learning. I love it. And can you share any upcoming projects or shows you're working on that we can look forward to?
Sure. We just wrapped up on season 4 of the morning show. I don't know when that's going to come out, but that was really fun and exciting to shoot. Currently I'm shooting Chicago Fire.
Yeah.
So yeah, the days that I'm not free, we're back on set tomorrow.
Oh.
And then yeah, I'm going to be shooting some Family Guy.
Ooh.
So that's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, that, just yeah.
Yeah.
It's been yeah.
And I have a question for myself because I'm really curious. Do you go back and watch the stuff that you're in?
Only when it comes out first.
Okay.
I won't. Yeah, I won't go. I won't go back and be like, oh man, I
No,
really
yeah, yeah.
missed that period of time. Like, no, I just, like only when it comes out, I'm like, okay, how did we do? What's it looking like? How's it responding? After that, I'm like, see you later. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. And then if we have time for quick
Yeah.
quick questions, like rapid fire, I'll get to
Okay.
that real quick. What is your favorite or the most unique place you've performed or shot something?
Russia. I studied in Russia for about 3 months. I was in. We were touring our grad show around Russia. So
Super cool.
yeah.
And I personally collect earrings, so I wanted to know, do you collect anything?
You collect earrings?
I do.
No, I don't. No, I don't collect anything. No. Yeah, I'm trying to think if I have anything to collect. No.
No. Okay. And what's your favorite song?
My favorite song right now is this weird song called Forest Trip.
Okay.
It's organic house. It's by this, I forget, I don't even know how to say their names. I think they're like a Russian band called Kontaktis.
Oh,
And yeah, it's like really trippy and weird, and I'm like, why do I like this song? But I like it. So yeah.
I love it. I love it. Kind of some of your Russian influence from the most
Yeah.
interesting place. And what's your favorite food?
My favorite food, I'm pretty boring. I'm like, I think like chicken, rice, and vegetables.
Okay.
I like to keep it simple.
That's it.
If I have to really branch out, I probably like sushi. I love some spicy tuna rolls.
I love
Yeah.
it. I love it. And as an actor yourself, who's your favorite actor or actress?
Man, yeah, like I like, where did I just see that? I was like, man, it's so cool. Oh, I thought Demi Moore did a phenomenal job in The Substance.
Okay.
Yeah, I like Riz Ahmed. I like Akarish is great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think like who. I know there is one. It's not coming to me right now. But yeah.
No worries. Perfect. And what's your favorite movie or TV show?
My favorite movie is Tropic Thunder, like of all time. I love Tropic Thunder. I think that it was in a period of time where it was just they could do whatever they want, and it was just very special. And I don't think we'll ever get that. We'll ever get that back.
Totally have to watch it. I've never heard of it.
You've never watched Tropic Thunder?
I have not.
Dude, God, you young people. You got to go watch Tropic Thunder. Okay, it's like an everyday movie. It's the greatest movie of all time.
Sounds great. And what's your favorite animal?
My favorite animal, I like an Australian Shepherd. I think I'm gonna convince my wife so we can adopt an Australian Shepherd.
We just have to be careful how much it sheds, right? I think they shed.
Yeah, they shed a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. But they're very cute. Very cute. And what's your favorite color?
Blue.
Blue. Okay, classic,
Yeah,
classic. And your favorite? Thunder Gray. Thunder. And what's your favorite singer/band?
Singer/band. Who do I like? I mean, do DJs count?
Sure, why not?
Okay, I like Alesso. I like Swedish House Mafia. I like Martin Garrix. Martin Garrix is really fun. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. And then, of course, because this is a Girl Scout thing, I have to ask, what's your favorite Girl Scout cookie?
I like the Samoas.
Samoas.
Yeah,
that's what someone was saying yesterday too. They're a crowd favorite.
Yeah, I got the coconut stuff on there, which like
I love it. I love it. Well, thank you so much for being here on Shattering Stereotypes. It was great to hear all about you and your story. It's super awesome and super cool.